She is sitting perfectly still. The room around her is rotting, dirty walls, flies circling, the smell of something that has been closed for too long. And she is surrounded by dolls, dozens of them, staring. Her own face is hidden behind a doll mask. Her arms are covered in blood. It isn't hers. She picks up a dead body, gently, the way you would lift a sleeping child, and carries it out into the forest. She has done this before. This is the full story of Dolly. Macy and her husband are having a good day. She drops their daughter at daycare. He has planned a trip, something simple, a drive into the forest, a walk by the lake, the kind of afternoon that looks exactly like the first act of a horror movie, because it is. While they move through the trees, laughing at the beauty around them, something else is moving through the forest on the other side. Dolly is walking. And she is also carrying a dead body. When she reaches the spot, she places the dolls in their positions, arranged, deliberate, and then digs a hole. The dead body goes inside. And here is what makes this scene so much worse than it looks. Macy and her husband are about to walk directly into Dolly's territory. And they are going to laugh when they see the dolls. Macy and her husband come across the dolls in the clearing. They don't recognize what they are looking at. They see a strange collection of objects left in the woods. Odd, maybe even funny. They move on. They make it to the lake. They are just starting to relax when the sound comes. It is something stranger than that, a sound that seems almost designed to unsettle. That is because it is. Dolly is playing it from one of her dolls. She is watching them. Macy's husband decides to investigate. He walks in the direction of the sound, pushing through the brush until he reaches Dolly's territory. He sees her. His first instinct is pity. She looks lost. She looks like someone who has wandered away from somewhere and doesn't know how to get back. He approaches, thinking he will help her, thinking he will take her somewhere safe. The moment he gets close, Dolly attacks. She chokes him first, then throws him to the ground before he can recover. She picks up a heavy tool and drives it into his arms, and then into his mouth. His jaw breaks. He isn't dead. But he isn't getting up either. Macy waits too long before she goes looking.
When she finally enters the forest, she finds her way to Dolly's area. Dolls everywhere, and a body on the ground, bleeding from the mouth. She screams. Dolly hears the scream and comes. Macy asks where her husband is. Dolly doesn't answer, not in any way Macy can understand. Then Macy sees him. He is unconscious, bleeding heavily, in terrible condition. She runs toward him. She trips. Her head hits a rock. She blacks out. She wakes up and Dolly is there. Dolly grabs her by the hair, slaps her. Dolly is not trying to kill her. Macy doesn't understand that yet. She finds a sharp piece of debris and stabs it into Dolly's body. Dolly chokes her until she passes out. When Macy wakes again, she is inside a house deep in the woods. She is in a baby's room, pink walls, dolls on every surface, a baby crib in the center, and she is wearing baby clothes. She is lying in the crib. It gets worse. She tries the door, locked from outside. She hears something from the other side of the wall, a man's voice. He tells her he has been locked in the room next to hers for years. No one has been able to free him until now. He gives her the information she needs. There is a silver key. Dolly wears it around her neck at all times. That key opens everything, and Macy needs to understand something else before she does anything at all. Dolly thinks Macy is a doll.
Dolly arrives with her hands still covered in blood. She drags Macy to a table, lays her down like an infant, and puts a diaper on her. Macy does not move. She cannot afford to. Instead, she studies the room, the iron chains on the doors, the layout of the space, every detail she might need later. Outside in the forest, her husband is still alive. He managed to regain consciousness, but he has lost so much blood that he collapses again almost immediately. Back in the house, Dolly begins cleaning Macy's wounds with an unsettling tenderness. Macy pushes her hand away. Dolly gets angry, but doesn't act on it. Then she remembers something. The knife. The one Macy stabbed her with in the forest. It is still inside her. She pulls it out. Blood pours. Dolly faints. At first, this looks like the answer. Macy moves fast. She frees herself from the chair Dolly had tied her to. She gets to the door, and Dolly grabs her from behind. The punishment this time is a belt. Hard, repeated strikes. Macy says sorry, over and over. Dolly calms herself. Then she tries to feed Macy. First solid food. Macy can't swallow it. Then a feeding bottle. Macy spits it out. Dolly throws everything across the room in rage, but, crucially, she does not hurt Macy. She is trying to be a mother. Somewhere outside, Macy's husband is bleeding out. Macy bites Dolly's hand while she's being fed. Dolly collapses in pain. Macy runs to the room next door and asks the man where the key might be. He says, the basement. The basement is off limits right now. Dolly is there. So Macy searches Dolly's room instead. Nothing. She is about to give up when she hears Dolly coming upstairs. She slips downstairs while Dolly goes up, and finds the basement door. She goes inside. The basement is not what she expected. It is beautifully decorated. Candles lit. Dolls arranged with care. It looks almost peaceful until Macy sees the container. The answer is hiding in plain sight. Macy knows what Dolly is now. She knows what happens to the dolls when they stop cooperating. She takes the key. Macy is almost out. She has the key. Then Dolly appears behind her, bites her ear, and drags her back to the room. The dynamic shifts. Dolly is now acting less like a captor and more like a mother managing a difficult child. She rocks Macy on her lap. She sews her wounds. She strokes her hair until they both drift towards sleep. When Dolly finally falls asleep, Macy takes the key from around her neck. She goes to the locked room next door. The key opens it. Inside the room, the man is chained and in terrible shape. Near him is another body. His brother, he says. His brother came to rescue him. Dolly killed him too. Macy gives him the key. She looks around the room while he frees himself. Then his hand closes around her throat from behind. He tells her he is going to use her to escape. He knows Dolly's weakness. She guards what she considers hers with obsessive ferocity. Macy is one of her possessions. If Dolly thinks Macy is in danger, she will do anything. He intends to use that. He drags Macy to the kitchen, tells her to call for Dolly. She refuses. He hurts her injured ear until she screams. Dolly comes running. He tells Dolly, "Open the door or Macy dies." Dolly drops everything she's holding, walks to the door, begins to open it. While Dolly's attention is on the lock, the man picks up her tool. He is going to kill her. He swings for her mask, about to crack it, about to finish this, when a knife hits him in the waist. Macy threw it, not to help Dolly, not out of sympathy. She threw it because she understood that the man with chains around his wrists was more dangerous than the woman with dolls in the forest. It gets worse. The knife barely slows him. He turns toward Macy. Before he can reach her, Dolly attacks from behind. Dolly has just saved Macy's life, but she does not see it that way. She sees a doll that tried to escape, and now she is furious. Dolly knows Macy helped him. She breaks everything in the room. Macy tries to run. Dolly catches her, chokes her, stops just before it goes too far. Because she doesn't want Macy dead. She wants her doll. Then Macy hears something impossible. Her husband's voice. He is alive. He found her. She cannot reach the front door. Dolly is blocking it. So she does the only other thing she can. She runs, full speed, toward the window, throws herself through the glass, and falls. She hits the ground badly. Her face is injured, but she gets up and she gets to her husband, and for one moment, just one, it seems like it might be over. It isn't. Dolly watches from the window. She sees her doll being taken away. She comes down. She attacks the husband. Macy tries to stop her. Dolly knocks Macy aside, grabs the husband's broken jaw, already fractured from the first attack, and tears it apart. He dies. Macy runs into the forest. Dolly follows. In the trees, Macy finds a stick and turns to fight. It doesn't work. Dolly is stronger, but Macy gets one thing right. She swings for the mask. It breaks. Dolly panics. She doesn't chase. She pulls back. Macy runs. She falls into a pit. The same pit from the opening scene, the one where Dolly buried the body. Dolly returns, now recovered from the shock of the broken mask, and comes from every direction. Macy reaches into the pit and pulls out the body Dolly buried there. She holds it out and tells Dolly to back off or she will throw it. Dolly stops. She drops her weapon. Because this is her doll, her possession. Macy throws the body away, picks up the weapon, and hits Dolly hard enough to knock her unconscious into the pit. She runs. She finds a police officer at the edge of the forest. She tells him everything: the mask, the killings, the house, the others. He puts her in the car and starts calling for backup. Before anyone else can arrive, Dolly appears. She kills the officer with a single blow. She begins breaking into the car. Macy sees the keys. She moves to the driver's seat. She drives. Dolly steps in front of the car to block the road. Macy drives straight into her. This time, Dolly does not get up. The camera holds on Macy behind the wheel. Her face is cut open. Her husband is dead. The house in the forest is still standing, still full of dolls, still locked. And whatever grief built it, whatever loss turned a woman into something that collects bodies and calls them her children, that is still unexplained. The film doesn't give us an origin. It gives us an ending. Macy exhales. She drives away, alone in the car. What do you think really happened? Was Dolly a grieving mother, a woman who lost a child and could not survive that loss without replacing it? Or something darker, something that chose this, that wanted it? Drop your theory in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to Thrilled in the Dark.